Welcome to the bonus recording of the Faith and Work podcast. Those who have already listened to our guest on their favorite podcast app will know that we record a bonus question or two for you on our YouTube channel. If you're finding us here first on our YouTube platform, we invite you to listen to the full recording on Connecting Faith and Work. Our nonprofit organization, Ambassadors for Business, has networking tools and resources at www.afbnl.com. You can also hear other podcasts where we talk with industry leaders to gain insight on how to share faith in the marketplace and the impact it has going forward. Our link is www.connectingfaithandwork.com. Enjoy what we share. I met Erica Dvorak at the Ambassadors for Business Bootcamp, Incubate, and she was telling me, caught my ear just a little bit, she was telling me about some of the marketing that she had done in the past and that she had made some plans to change her career because a baby was born, baby came into her life, and we all know that those have no way of upending our lives and making any changes for us. So to just tell you a little bit about Erica Dvorak is the founder of Faith and Gather, a lifestyle content platform that provides a safe, encouraging space for Christian women to build community, confidence, and feel supported in all areas of their life. She's also the host of the faith-inspired podcast by Faith and Gather, a podcast that leaves listeners faith-inspired to tackle every area of life, keeping them one step ahead of the devil, armed with the knowledge to fight everyday battles. Erica is mom to a toddler full of energy and a wife to a man who is nothing short of a gift. Her passion and purpose in life are to inspire hope and courage in others through her faith in Jesus Christ. I want to welcome you to Connecting Faith and Work podcast. In the world we are in today, a lot of Christians are really afraid to admit that they are a Christian. They think people are going to look down on them or cancel them. That's the big word, the big buzzword we have going around right now. And so many people are being canceled when they speak out truths from the Bible because it is against the current culture. What would you say is the impact people can have in the lives of others by being out there that they are a Christian?
I think with my story it's action. It really is action. I live my faith out daily through the actions that I have towards others. And people can't cancel you if you are doing kind things, if you are treating others well, if you are going above and beyond and showing your faith through your actions. No one can cancel that. And no one can, someone's going to feel bad about themselves if they start getting down on you about doing good things for other people. It reflects badly on them. And so I always show it through my actions first, and then allow my actions for people to question that. People to question like, oh, well, why did you go above and beyond? Or that was really nice. No one's ever done that for me before. That gives me the open window to share why. And I don't always, blurt out like, oh, Jesus this, Jesus that, are you saved? It's more like, well, thank you. I try to live out my life in a certain way by certain standards because of my faith. And then that provides that little seed that can then open up the door. And so I just would encourage individuals to, if you don't feel comfortable speaking your faith, show your faith, and people will question you. People will question you, and they will, they'll just see it. They will see it, and that'll give you the opportunity.
Welcome to the Connecting Faith and Work podcast bonus section. I'm speaking with Erica Dvorak today, and for those of you who may have found us on our podcast episode, you're now finding us on our YouTube or Vimeo channel. We just want to thank you, Erica, for spending this little extra time with us, and want to talk to you a little bit about being patient as you're going through the seasons that you're going through. Share with us kind of the start. I know you talked about your baby being born and that was a change point in your life. You learned from that some patience and how to listen to God. So tell our audience a little bit about your experience with that, and then let's encourage people with what they can do.
When my son was born, actually, so I had a high-risk pregnancy. I had something called vasoprevia, which is where the blood vessels grew in a different way. And so if I was to give birth naturally, my son would have a 50-50 chance of survival. And there'd be some complications too. So quick story, making it's a fun, long story, but quick story. I was in the hospital ahead of time for a scheduled C-section, and I actually went a week and a half early. Woke up one morning and I was bleeding, and within 15 minutes of calling my husband, my son was born. And I was actually not able to be awake for my son's birth. And so it was just a very traumatic situation, but very, very blessed to be able to wake up groggy and know that, for one, I had a son because it was a surprise for us. And then two, that he was healthy and that I was going to be okay as well. But really had to deal with lots of emotional, just emotional strife after the birth. Once you're a mom, you have all the hormones going on top of this traumatic situation that I experienced. On top of that, I was working at a wonderful company, but in a very, very high stress role, high profile, high stress. The CEO of this company was very, very aware of the clients that I worked on and how well those clients were feeling about, my performance and my team's performance. And, I was working 60 plus hours a week. And just as a mom of a new infant, along with these, feelings that I was going through, it just wasn't working out for me. It wasn't working out for our family. And so really heard from God at that time, promptings to leave my job. And so my husband and I made the decision for me to make a leap without any safety net. And God was so good to us. He provided me a position a month later. And I started at a healthcare company, a startup, and working part-time. And that ability to work part-time allowed me to heal, but it also allowed God to place Faith and Gather on my heart and to build this company. So, at that time when I made the jump, I had no idea that the Lord was preparing me for for me to be an entrepreneur myself. So it really is, a beautiful story. And I would say, starting Faith and Gather, I again went to this place of busyness. I mentioned that I'm a type A person. I like to go and do and get things done. And that's something that I really have been fighting for the past 3 years or so, because I found that, it's really good. It's great to be built to want to get things done. But at the same time, it causes a ton of burnout and it causes issues with relationships. And so I am on this mission now to help other women to not live that type of life. I'm continually trying not to live that type of life. So I've read, all the books, The Common Rule, To Hell with the Hustle, Ruthless Elimination of Hurry, just finding ways to really be able to unwind and not be so obsessed with what I need to do. And as a marketer, I know the things I need to do to get things done on social media. I know that I need to be posting every day on Instagram or 1.5 times a day on Instagram and doing the reels and doing the videos. But at my season in my life right now, I'm not able to do that. And in these past 2 weeks, I just haven't been feeling very well. And so I've been posting 3 times a week on Instagram. And it's funny, Instagram within 2 weeks of not following their rules and doing what they wanted me to, pulled away my branded content rights. And I started laughing when I saw that, because I was like, if Instagram's not allowing me to be able to live my life and do what I need to do to support myself and my family emotionally, then I'm not going to give it the time of day that it's not giving me. And so it was just a realization of like, my God is bigger than this timetable. My God is bigger than these social media platforms. My God is bigger than anything that I could ever do on my own. So going back to that scale for your season, it's whatever season you are in right now, praying for God to give you the strength, and then praying for God to like lead you of where you need to be, because the world has its rules on what you should be doing, how often you should be doing it, what perfection means. And that doesn't mean anything. It really doesn't. It's between you and God and what you can do with what he's given you in that time. So I'm really on that journey right now. And that's kind of where one of my passions lies in my heart right now, is just being able to support other individuals in the journey to not being so crazy, not doing the hustle, and just realizing that we can slow down a little bit and still do amazing things for the world and for God's kingdom.
You take me back in time. I remember a particularly rough season of my life years ago when my older boys were really little, and my aunt gave me some advice, and I remember that advice really well. But she also included a verse that talks about God will restore to you the days that the locust has eaten. And I had read that verse. It's in Genesis. I had read that verse a number of times and never really stuck out in my mind. But what you're just saying now, if you step back, lose that Instagram type thing, God will make up that difference. And that's what I think I would encourage our audience to hear from what we're talking about today. God will make up the things where we fall short. He expects us to do our part. It's not just, pray, stay in that holy attitude. Yes, we are to pray. Yes, we are to be in an attitude of in communication with God and the Holy Spirit. However, he also expects us to do our part. Our feet need to hit the ground. He had Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, and he assigned them work to do. They had a portion to do as well. And you see that repeated over and over throughout the Bible. God assigns a purpose. And I love that about Ambassadors for Business. We help people discover what their purpose is, and then we move them to the resources that they need, places like what you're offering to people, that you can move them to the next step. And it's not start at the starting line and now I'm done, like the pregnancy thing we were talking about in the podcast. It's not the television episode, here she's pregnant 1 week and the next week the baby's already born or 3 years old or whatever it is. It is a process along the way. And I just encourage people to pray, to be patient, to allow God to speak to your heart, to listen, to slow down and listen to what God is calling you to do. If you are listening to this bonus episode and finding us here first on YouTube or Vimeo, we encourage you to go over to your favorite podcast platform and listen to connectingfaithandwork.com, our Connecting Faith and Work podcast over there. You can listen to the full recording where Erica is giving us a lot of other insights, and we just have enjoyed having you with us today. Thank you for being here. We want to remind everyone that we release new episodes on the 10th, 20th, and 30th of each month, and we hope everyone has a blessed day. Thanks again, Erica. Any final closing words?
No, just want to say thank you very much and just appreciate what you and the team are doing, and just keep up the good work.
All right. Where can people find you?
You can find the Faith and Gather platform at faithandgather.com. You can also find the Faith Inspired podcast at faithinspiredpodcast.com, and then also on all the major platforms. And then for social media, our handle is always at Faith and Gather.
Thanks again. Everyone have a great day. We'll talk later.
We are grateful to have such awesome guests here on Connecting Faith and Work podcast. Be sure to listen to new episodes released on the 10th, 20th, and 30th of every month. Thank you for listening.